Hello, my name is Matt Argo, and this is a tutorial for my cover of Best Part by Daniel Caesar on the ukulele. If you haven't seen my cover of this, you can click up there to get to the video I made. There will also be a link for that video down in the description below. I've also made a chord sheet with chords, lyrics, and chord diagrams for how to play the chords on the ukulele, and there's a link for that down in the description below, and you can download it for free. And to get started, before we get started, I want to mention that I play this with a low G tuning. I just prefer how the chords sound with that low G on this particular song. If you don't have that, if you want to play it with just standard tuning, a high G, it'll sound just fine. But I just want to let you know that that's how I like to play it. So this is going to be a pretty basic tutorial. Unfortunately, if you were expecting or hoping for me to go over the looping stuff I did at the end, I decided not to go over that. There's really a lot of details in that. This is just going to be a basic tutorial of how to play the song without that little jam session I did at the end. So I'm sorry if you were expecting that, but here we go. I'm just going to go over the chords because there's just 4 chords in this whole song. They just repeat on a loop. It's just such a great loop, though. 4-chord loop, such a great groove that I really don't get tired of it. But anyway, the first chord in that is D major 7, and you're going to start by barring across all 4 strings with your first finger on the 2nd fret. Then you're going to take your 3rd finger and put it on the 4th fret of the first string. So that's 2, 2, 2, 4. And that's D major 7. From there, you're going to go to A minor 7, and you're going to leave your finger barred across that 2nd fret, but then you're going to take your 2nd finger and bar it across 2 strings on the 3rd fret, the first 2 strings. And then you're going to take your 3rd finger, put it on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. So that's 2, 4, 3, 3, and that's A minor 7. For the next chord, you're going to stay barred across that 2nd fret, but just 3 strings. The first 3 strings, you're going to leave that 4th string, that low G, open. So it's 0, 2, 2, 2, and that's G major 7. And then finally, the 4th chord is B flat major 7. You're going to take your first finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and 3rd finger, 3rd fret of the 4th string. So 3, 2, 1, 0. It's kind of this staircase pattern, or a chord shape. And that's B flat major 7. So that's all the chords in this whole song. Now as for strumming, pretty simple too. You can just strum, play an open strum on the first beat of the chord, and then on the 2nd beat you're going to rest, kind of mute the strings, but rest audibly, so it's kind of percussive. So, and then right after that, an 8th note later, you're going to strum again, or pluck. If you've done this before, you can put a finger on each string and just pluck all 4 strings at the same time. Gives kind of a softer sound. So right after that, you rest on that 2nd beat, the 8th note, you're going to strum it again, and then come down again. The rhythm of that sounds like this. You go to the next chord. So really, it's just that real basic pattern. You can play that through the entire song, and it's really pretty simple. I will tell you a couple of tricks, a couple of tips for adding some embellishment in there. On each of these chords, pretty much, you can add a little hammer-on. So when you first play that D major 7, you can start by just barring that 2nd fret and then hammer on to that 4th fret, so of the first string. So, and then when you go into the A minor 7, you can hammer onto the 4th fret of that 3rd string. So. And then when you get to the G major 7, you can slide into that whole chord from the first fret into the second fret. So, and then when you get to the B flat major 7, you can hammer on with your middle finger onto the second fret of that third string. So, you know, together that sounds like this. And that just adds a little bit of embellishment, and it can really make a significant difference, add some style to the way you play your song. And another thing, a bonus tip I will add, is when you're transitioning from that A minor 7 to the G major 7, is you can slide down or walk down, kind of on that last beat, take your whole hand, move your whole hand down one fret. That would be G sharp minor 7, and then to the G major 7. So A minor 7, G sharp minor 7, G major 7. You're just walking down the root of that chord. And, you know, so that would sound like this. Something like that. And I wouldn't necessarily play all of these embellishments every time you play through the chords. You know, you don't necessarily want it to get too repetitive. You know, you can kind of switch it up. Sometimes do it, sometimes don't. You know, especially walking down that A minor 7 to the G sharp minor 7. You know, when I play it, I just like to do it sometimes, but not every time. So, with that being said, that's really pretty much the whole song, and that's pretty much all you need to know to play the song and have it sound really great. So, I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. Again, I apologize if you were hoping for me to go over the looping stuff I did at the end. But, you know, if you want to go back, listen to my cover of this. That link is still down in the description below to my video, and the link, it'll also show up on the end screen here, and then that chord sheet, if you haven't gotten that yet, that link is still down in the description below. If this video was helpful for you, if you want to see more videos, more covers like this, then please consider subscribing, and that's it for today.